Hello, my name's Dave Bennet. I'm one of the many volunteers here at NACTV, and this is Coffee Chat. The Coffee Chat program today will be discussing the Neepawa District Handi-Van service, and my guests today are John Pottinger, the chair of the Handi-Van, and Justin Cicholski. Close enough, Justin.
Close enough.
Justin, who is the contractor operator of the services. So welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming.
No problem.
First of all, John, then maybe we'll ask you, I know we talked a little bit about how old this service was, and it's somewhere between 40 and 50 years, I guess, is what.
Yep, and it's been in Neepawa for that long.
For that long, yeah. And a great service for the people of Neepawa and district as well.
Yeah, and area.
Yeah, that's right. So what's the legal structure of this operation? Maybe tell me, first of all, John.
It's made up of, the town of Neepawa basically is where the Handi-Van is located. The surrounding municipalities all have representatives on the board. So it'll be the RM of Rosedale, North Cypress, Langford now, and Glenelg Lansdowne.
So there's four reps from there. It's a non-profit organization.
Non-profit organization.
Yeah, and hence you were just telling me you can issue receipts for donations.
Yeah, we can issue any donations to the Handi-Van over $20. We can issue a receipt.
Good. I didn't want to miss that because
Nope.
I just learned that at the end of our pre-chat here, sort of thing. So,
Yep.
All right. So you have those are four members
Yep.
that are on your board. The representative from the four municipal
Yep.
organizations, but you have three more on there or two more at the moment.
Two more at the moment. Michelle Ferguson for Hand is
Right.
also on there. And usually the Country Metals has a rep, but at the moment Marcia has been replaced with someone, and they haven't come to the last few meetings yet.
Okay.
So once they get a rep in that position, then they'll be
back up to
be
seven.
back
you
up
hope.
to
So there's a
meetings.
community rep then there too to make
Yeah,
up the
and
seventh
a
one.
community rep. Yeah.
And that's Dorothy Smith Harris.
Yes,
understands
Dorothy
it.
comes from. Well, she resides at the Elks, but yeah.
You were telling me she's been a member of the board for quite a lengthy
She's
time.
been there as long as I have. Yep.
Well, good for Dorothy. Thank her for that. Now, you have, besides Justin, you have a couple other people that work for the organization, a secretary and a treasurer, do you? How's that
Connie
work?
Thorin is our treasurer,
Okay.
and
Lewi.
Levi is our secretary.
Secretary, yeah. She told me Lewi Cabrera, our office manager here at NACTV, has offered and is doing some secretarial work.
Yep.
Minutes for meetings and that sort of thing
Yep.
she does.
Yeah, appreciate her help.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, we like her here, that's for sure. So I'm sure you do a good job for you too. So, so when you get on this organization, like is there an annual meeting that votes them in? Like every 3 years, you roll over representatives?
Basically, for the municipalities, there's a representative sent from the municipalities to sit on the board.
Right.
And then basically we have an election for a chair and a vice chair every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
As such.
On
And
a yearly
the
basis.
community people and so on, they're just there until somebody replaces them, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Certainly. Now you can have a few more members, you thought, perhaps?
The public at large, we could probably take another one or two for sure.
Okay.
If anyone was interested and wanted to approach the board.
Well, that would be good, I think. Yes, it's a great way to volunteer your time. I think it'd be an organization that you can see does a lot of good for the town and the people in the town.
Yeah,
So-
we have one meeting a month, third Tuesday every month
Okay,
at noon.
right. And your year ends the end of December, you
The
told me.
year end is the end of
Yeah.
December.
Okay, well, gets that established. What about capital items? Like you own 3 vehicles, I understand?
We have the 2 smaller vans and the 1 bus.
Okay.
Yep. Government has a lot of funding we've accessed before. They'll cover up to 50%
Of a
usually
new
of
vehicle.
the new vehicles. Price is just like everything else has gone crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're about 125,000 to replace one now. So
Wow. So do you have a replacement fund kind of established year to year? You throw some money in the kitty? Or?
no. What we've done in the past, I've lobbied the municipalities for help, and then use the government funding, or else basically we go to the credit union and we'll have to take a loan out and
Yes.
make monthly payments.
So do you have a loan ongoing right now?
The last van, I think we got another year. I believe it is. I think
Yeah.
there's one more year left on it.
Left on that.
Yeah.
But you managed to be able to keep paying it off. So
Pretty much so far,
pretty
yeah.
much so far. That's good. What about you don't have any office space or anything like
Nope.
that? The things just operate out of people's homes, I guess,
Yeah.
do they, for the administration and that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have no established office. We use town office for our meetings at noon on
Oh,
when we
okay.
have it.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
they let us use the boardroom there. So
Now, well, Justin, so what about storing the vehicles and that? Like, where are they stored?
So at my house, it's up
Right.
to the contractor's responsibility to keep them wherever they decide.
Okay.
Like, so I just operate out of my own home, so they're in my backyard, and then I have an office space set up in my garage
Right.
that the drivers come to every morning, get the phone, checklists, daily log sheets for clients that are going to use the ridership. And
So that's one of your responsibilities is the bookings, I take it? Then you do that
Yes.
through that, what was the number? I picked
476-2828.
2828, and it's in the phone book under Neepawa. I looked it up. So
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all the after-hours stuff and out-of-town trips, we just go through my cell phone number, 841-4419, and then I just organize that
Okay.
to see what driver is available. I have a driver that does mostly out-of-towns and after-hours, and then the other two take care of most of the in-town stuff.
Okay. Well, not in the phone book, though, would it?
No, it's just my personal
But
cell
it would
phone.
be on your Facebook.
It's on our voicemail.
Oh.
So if the driver doesn't pick up, because the drivers know then to direct it to me, or if it's after hours, my number's just on the voicemail.
You said if the drivers don't pick up, what does that mean? Does the driver have the?
So there's a cell phone that goes in the van with the driver from 8 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And then they take all their calls with the log sheet so they can tell the client that I'm booked right now, but I can get you in 15 minutes, or
Okay.
I'll be right there.
So they're handling incoming calls
Yes.
during the time they have the van
Yeah.
and so on. So you have a driver established for the whole time period of the day?
Yes, there's one driver that's in town for the whole day. One is Rick Netzel, the other is Greg Shaw.
Okay.
The after hours and weekends guy is Rick Mann.
Oh, okay.
Never anything bad to say about any of them. Rick Netzel's been doing it for probably 8 years now. He's a fan favorite. He's just
Well, two of the names you mentioned I had as students. I've been around for a while. So,
wow.
so I could vouch for two of them. I don't know the third one. So that's your drivers. So what sort of training or do they need or licensing or
So
anything
you
like
need a
that?
class 4. Up until this year, you could drive the little van with a class 5. But now the town made a bylaw that you need a class 4 for it. And then it was always you need a class 4 for the bus.
Right.
And then the board issues a contract for drivers with a bunch of stipulations in that you have to meet. You need a driver's abstract, criminal records check,
Okay.
seniors abuse check, all that kind of stuff to make sure you have a clean slate.
On that.
On
So
that.
if somebody's listening out there or somebody tells somebody that was listening and they think they might like to volunteer for driving, they're paid,
Yeah.
of course, but would like to offer that as a service, they could just phone that 2828 number to start with, I guess.
Yeah, and they would probably just direct them to me.
And you get all the info that you need.
Yeah, and then sit
okay.
down and talk to them and see what they want to do. And
So you say you have 3 right now. Probably you can cover most of your time right now. You're
Yeah.
not sort of in need of a driver right now, but
and then like we have a casual spare that in a pinch will fill
okay.
in. When summer's harder because that's our busier time.
Okay, it is.
And then that's when most people want to take their vacations.
Oh yeah.
So if we had a spare driver there, then it helps out.
Could
a
cover
little
for
bit.
somebody wanting to take a 2-week period
Yeah.
off or something.
Yeah.
Would be very helpful. Okay, well that's. So you mentioned summer is busier.
Yeah.
Well, like what would seem to me, wintertime might be busier because it's harder to get around and so on. Are there different kinds of services? Well, let's talk about the services you do provide. Like the people phone up because they need to have an appointment, I suppose, or they need to do grocery shopping, or they need to do whatever. The fairly common things that I might think of. What other people or kinds of requests do you have for services?
So anything and everything. We've done co-op's Christmas party just to shuttle them home from the Yellowhead. We've taken
okay.
seniors.
So that's a social evening where people are looking for a driver to get them home.
Yeah, co-op's a big partner with us. Like I said, with the Tuesday grocery shopping, they pay for seniors from Kings McCourt's, Aspenlea, Elks Manor, Yellowhead Manor. I think that's all of them. To go there and back.
So Tuesday mornings you go to each of those places where there's ones that want to go to the shop.
Right? No, they just call and book with the driver.
Oh, okay. They call them book with
Yeah.
the driver.
We have our usuals.
Right.
And then so that's every Tuesday.
And co-op pays the
Co-op
fee
pays the
for
fee
them
for it.
that day
Yeah.
as a
Yep.
as a perk for shopping at
Yes.
co-op, of course. Plus, it's a great contribution to the town as well. I'm sure.
Yeah. And then we've taken residents just back to country cruises out to where they moved or lived before they moved into a seniors complex.
You
You
were
name
telling-
it, we'll pretty much try and accommodate it if we have a driver available. And all our main priorities, like you said, medical appointments, disability people, are all covered first.
So there is a bit of a priority in terms of this. Like if I wanted to book it, I don't know, go to a wiener roast or something like that. I mean, I'd be a little lower down the priority, I suppose.
Yeah.
Than somebody that had to, because I can drive my own car, I can do whatever, right?
Yeah. And then we're $5 a stop. And then anything after hours between Monday and Friday, 8 to 5, the rate then doubles and you're $10 per stop.
Okay, it's outside of regular business
Yeah.
hours. Per stop means one you pay going down and you stopped, and then you pay to go home again.
Yes.
So really, it's a $10 trip in a sense. If you want to go shopping, you had an appointment
During
or
the
something
day.
or other.
Yeah.
During the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the day.
And after hours, $20.
So what about going out of town? Like if can somebody book an appointment to Brandon?
You can book to Brandon, Winnipeg, Dauphin, Portage. We've been down to Glenboro.
Okay.
Pretty much you name it. Between 8 and 5 Monday to Friday, we're 75 cents a kilometer and $16 an hour for the driver. And that's in the little vans. The bus, $1.25 a kilometer and $16 an hour for the driver. After hours, $1.50 a kilometer for the van, and then $2.50 a kilometer for the bus.
For the bus.
And the driver's time just stays at 16.
Okay. So that information is up on your Facebook page? Is it? You mentioned to me you've just put up a Facebook page, so I'm thinking.
That-
I think our rates
I
are on
think
there.
so. I think so.
Yeah.
I've never had to double check that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about promotion, because I know that
sure.
one of the reasons we're doing this interview is you want to promote the usage,
the
use of the
van.
van, right?
Yep.
And because, I know you're financially, we'll get to that in a minute, but you're financially thinking, well, we got to get some more riders to
Yep.
make this more viable. So I'm just thinking in my mind about promotional things, is there, rates and that posted at the seniors' homes, for example. That kind of thing might help too, if it's not already there.
I believe
Yeah.
it is on posters at the seniors
There, sure.
complex.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So okay, now so we've mentioned. Let's talk about those three vehicles. And you talked about the van and the small. Just tell me a little. How old are they, and what they're used for? How many they seat, and all that sort of stuff about the three vehicles.
So the two
Justin.
small vans, one's a 14 or 16?
Okay.
14, I think.
14 and 19.
Yep, 14 and 19.
They seat 4, but if you have a wheelchair or
Oh, yes.
walkers, then it limits how many you can have. Like if you have a wheelchair, you can only fit that person in the back. And then you can have one in the front seat if they're able to get in the front seat.
Right.
But if you just 4 people with canes as an example, you'd be able to put 4 people
Right.
into it.
The older one's paid for, and the newer one, you still think you maybe have a year to go to
You got a
get
year
Yeah.
to go on it. Yep.
on that there.
And then the
And-
bus, we seat 16.
Okay, and it's fairly old bus, is it? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's been
Okay.
around a while.
So how often is the bus used? Is it like
So it's used a lot in the summer for trips like through Country Meadows, Kinsman Courts.
Okay.
We did a shuttle service this year for the first time for the fair.
Okay.
And so, like all those kind of events that go on. In the winter, it's pretty much just the casino trip we do once or twice a month to Carberry. Because there's not a lot of people that are out. And
So that shuttle service for the fair you mentioned, now that would be paid for by the chamber, I assume,
yes.
in order to provide that for people to
Yep.
get there and do that. That's good. We need to promote to other organizations in town the opportunity to use it for their own members or to provide it as a service to other people of the community. Like
We just got asked to be the shuttle service for the Co-op Golf Tournament on Friday.
oh,
So
and so you use the vans for that, because it's only a few at a time, I guess. Isn't it?
yeah, it all depends, because I always try and ask like what they forecast for their
Right.
ridership, right? If they think everybody's going to go home at the end in a bunch, then we'll take the bus.
Take the bus.
If it's going to be 2 or 3 here and there, it doesn't make sense to start the bus for that, so we just take a van.
So that you just play that by ear almost.
Yeah,
where
it
you're at.
depends
Well,
on depends on the service,
Yeah.
how big a service it is.
well, I'm sure that a small community, well, Neepawa's getting bigger, of course,
getting
but we
bigger
still
all the
think of
time.
ourselves as a small community. And, people like yourselves that know the area, know what's going on and everything, that you just move things to work to be the best for everybody. You don't have
Absolutely.
to have hard and fast rules that big cities might have to have.
Yeah.
You can change with, well, that's great. I'm sure people appreciate working with you, Justin, in that regard too. So, yeah, that's good. What else would we talked about the bookings and so on, the costs.
The one thing on the ridership, we have a 10 book coupon, or 10 rides in a book. If you buy a book of 10, it's a little cheaper than, I think it's 50 cents less, isn't it?
Yeah, it works out to $4.50 a ride,
Right,
as opposed to $5.
As opposed to the $5.
And they don't expire.
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
expiry date on them.
So like once it's purchased, if it takes you 2 years to take 10 rides, then
So there's an opportunity for a
great Christmas gift.
right, or an elderly person that's reluctant to maybe take the ride. They're worried about their money. They're worried about this or that or whatever. It's something that the child or whatever can. Well, here, Mom. Here's 10 coupons.
Yeah.
We just bought them. You use them. That's what they're there
you
for.
use them and
And
Yeah, that's a good idea.
some of the school kids we've taken, that's exactly what the parents have done. Is
Oh.
they just give the kid a voucher, and then the kid doesn't have to worry about hanging on to money to the driver or anything. They just hand them the ticket.
So you take a number of children to school, do you?
In the winter, sometimes we can take. We have one that's every day,
Okay.
and then we have up to 5, depending on temperatures that use
Okay.
us.
So these are people that live a little farther away from the school, but they're not outside the bus limit. They're not
Yeah.
able to get a bus.
And they don't, and their parents are already at work,
Right. Okay.
so they can't give them a ride.
Okay. Well, that's really great to know that there's that opportunity. Yeah. Well, or even people that, mind you, that's a priority because they have to get to school. So I mean,
Yeah.
they'd be booked in. You'd make sure they got there at that time.
Yeah.
As opposed to me looking for a ride and my car won't start.
But we'll still accommodate
You'll
you.
still
It
come,
just
that's
might
right.
be, it might not be for another 20 minutes though.
It might be a little bit later, but well, that's good that the kids are prioritized to get to school on time.
if it's a medical appointment, your priority might go up.
Might go up. There you go. And as I get older, it might go up too, John.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. And okay, tell me the excursions we talked a little bit about. So, does an organization book the services of an excursion at a flat rate, or are they paying per person per kilometer or whatever? How does that work?
So, we'll use Kinsman Courts as an example.
Okay.
When they just go out for lunch in town, it's just a flat rate of $100.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense to start the bus up for anything less.
Right.
But if we go on excursions to the casino or somewhere out of town, then it's by kilometer and by the hour.
Yeah, and you decide and charge so much per person, I guess, or
So
it's
we have
up to-
we have a daily trip sheet, or daily log. Your kilometers start to end
Right.
go on there. Your driver's
Yeah.
start time, end time, destination time. You write the description of where you picked up, where you went to, where you took the people back to, and then I then take that and turn it into an invoice,
Oh, okay.
and then submit it to the customer, whether it's by mail, in person.
Or whatever, back
Whatever.
to say Dana at Kintuve as an
Yep.
example.
Yep.
that
So
she
then
would
just
get
once
that.
a month I'll send her invoices.
Okay.
But for a trip to like celebrations, you kind of know what the flat rate is.
Yeah, we've just kind of calculated
So
what it would be approximately in mileage and time and that, and then
Okay.
just made a flat rate.
Flat
Same
rate.
as the casino.
And they know ahead of time what
then
that
they
flight
know ahead
rate's
of time
gonna
what
be
their costs for the
Yeah.
buses plus their
Right.
ticket or whatever
to
else
get
is
into
involved.
the
Yep.
event and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, you're doing a lot. You certainly are.
And if the community ever wants to come forward with an idea for an excursion, we'd
Right.
love to hear it to see if we can maybe organize something.
Or they can organize it themselves and hire you.
Absolutely.
There's that too. Yeah.
Even better, right? Okay, let's. So for as far as income sources, I know obviously you've got the $5 per stop and
Yep.
from the people and so on. Okay, what about grants? So
We get a $30,000 grant per year from the government,
from the provincial
provincial
from
government,
the provincial government. Okay.
to operate.
So are there other like Beautiful Plains Foundation grants perhaps that you can tap onto or not?
Usually, I think we're going to apply this year. We've never usually done that because they tend not to cover operating costs because we
Right.
don't have a whole lot more than that.
Right.
We could tap in if we were purchasing a new van
Yes. Okay.
because we can double up on our grants there. So community places is usually the one we use from the government.
So so for replacing a van, you
For
said that
replacing
the
a van.
government does
Yeah.
besides the 30,000 per year.
Yeah.
You can apply for
Yeah. Yeah, we could do
a
that.
grant towards the purchase
Yeah.
of a new one. Have you run? I just recall that when I guess when the last van was being bought, that there was a plea went out for help. Was there a fundraiser regarding that? Can you do fundraisers?
We can do fundraisers. We did for extra income. We did the hot dogs July 1st down at the park. September. What's the date on that for our Leader Day? When co-ops do it.
Oh, I see.
Early September.
Yeah.
Right. The number of liters they'll pay you so many
Yeah,
cents a liter that
they
they
take
sell.
Fuel
so
up
much a
and
liter. Yeah, and donate it to the Handi-Van.
Okay.
And we'll hopefully be doing a barbecue that day for dinner
Okay.
at that event too.
Okay.
And having the van or something out there showing that that's what the money's going to.
Right.
We've done
So-
some 50-50 draws.
We've done 50-50.
We got picked to be one of the representatives for the Legion meat draw supper.
Yeah,
The proceeds
we've
to
done
that.
Oh, okay, sure. Those
Um,
kinds of things that local fundraisers can do
Yeah.
something and
Yeah.
give the proceeds to you.
We also started doing delivering of meals for the Legion ladies,
Oh.
just to the seniors' homes in an attempt to try and get more meals out for them to help them as well.
Okay.
And then we get paid a rate.
Yeah, that's when they run a beef supper or something
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I know. Then,
Yeah.
in fact, I recall one time we delivered meals to Elks Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 or 4 of us, and
Yeah.
we got them there and set them up and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they contract you to do that,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and then from their funds they give you some money.
Yeah, like it kind of seems to average like between 50 and 70 more meals that they get to put out versus
Right.
yeah.
So whatever event that they're raising money for, that's all extra money for that organization.
That's right. That's for
Yeah.
them, and,
Yeah.
and plus you made a little of it as well. So
Yep.
Yep.
you had the of that. Okay, now so if you lose money, the municipalities chip
The way
in.
it's set
How
up-
does that work? How's that pro rata?
Well, I don't have the exact numbers. It's set up the same way as the care home was set up proportionally. It's a
Oh.
kind of a per capita basis.
Per capita?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, Neepawa's a bigger share, and then
So it doesn't have to do with the number of rides in a certain location
No,
or
it
anything
doesn't
like that.
have anything to do
It's
with
just
that.
the
It's
per
just
capita
yeah.
of the, because I mean there wouldn't be as many rides in the RMs, I'm sure, as in
No.
Neepawa. But as you commented to me before, a lot of the people in Neepawa came from the RMs
Yeah,
in the
a
first
lot,
place.
a lot
right?
of the retired seniors have moved in from the surrounding area and these municipalities and retired here in Neepawa and using our services.
Right. So they those rural councils look upon that
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as a
Definitely.
need, and they should support it.
Yeah,
And that sort of
should
thing.
help support it.
Okay, so if there's in terms of costs and so on, if there's a major cost of some kind, do you have to go back to your councils to get that approved?
Depending on
or-
how major it is, yeah. If well, it'll all depend on our status or financial status
at the
time.
time,
too.
yeah, right, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
so it's a kind of, I don't want to say free and easy, but there's good rapport between the councils and
Oh,
the
yeah.
board and the
Yeah.
operator
Oh yeah.
and all that to make it
No,
work well.
It
So
all it's all working really well at the moment.
that's
yeah.
great. That's great. Yes.
Just
okay.
we need a ridership to come up to cover our costs because they keep going up. Either that or we're going to have to increase rates. I
So
guess.
okay, you've got some ideas. You're talking about these couple of fundraisers you're doing, so
Yeah.
on. If somebody out there saw this program and thought, I've got a heck of a good idea, we could raise some money for the Handi-Van. I
Yeah.
suppose you'd be thank you very much, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as to some ideas. So that you have a small board. I saw at the barbecue that you had some helpers and so on working
yeah.
at the. So you've got a few people, past members maybe of
Yeah.
the board that.
Would come out and help.
come out
yeah,
and help
there's
and-
no. Usually, getting volunteers on a function like that's not too hard.
Okay,
Make a few calls and
and you've got people that
Yeah.
are.
The Canada Day one is an example. All the drivers and their wives stepped up, and
Oh,
we
okay.
came down
So
and-
that's who
Yeah.
did it there. I
Yeah.
saw a number of people, but
Yeah.
that's not Rick, but
yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay, right.
thank you to the co-op. They supplied all the hot dogs and drinks and
oh yes, of course.
everything.
Well,
for
they
free
do a
that
lot.
day.
A lot for you just from what you're
Oh,
telling
yeah.
me and so
Yeah,
on,
they
that
do.
you've got a
Yeah.
good working with those. What about comparisons to other communities? How many other communities are running such a Handi-Van? Do you know in the province and how you
There's a
compare
lot.
it? Yeah, there are.
There is quite a few. Like Neepawa or Minnedosa has one.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there's a lot. Gladstone has one. A lot of the communities have a Handi-Van.
And their rates and that, do you think are comparable to yours?
Some are higher. Yeah. Some base it on. I've seen one. They base it on the price of fuel, and I think that's pretty hard
Oh.
to do that
They must have been
all the time. But
they've been increasing it regularly,
Well,
then,
yeah.
haven't they? So you haven't put your rates up for a while.
No, we've been
April 1st of last year,
of last year we went up. When fuel went up, we had to go up
Had
some.
to go up.
Yeah,
and we went up 50 cents.
wasn't a lot going up, but
Yeah, right.
And that's the biggest thing with being with the seniors community. They live on fixed incomes,
yeah.
and so we still have to try and stay reasonable to accommodate to take them
Yeah.
to their appointments and everything.
And the major number of riders you have are from the
Sen-
seniors. They're definitely
Yeah.
from the seniors. There's
Yeah.
some would be handicapped and need riding and so on, but the majority is seniors.
Yep.
I would
Yep.
think. Okay, that's well. Anything we've missed, gentlemen, that you'd like to perhaps you've been thinking of that I haven't asked the question or something like that? It's been a good chat with you.
I think we've pretty much covered all the important bases.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah.
And thank you to the viewers for watching the program. I hope we've been informative about the Handi-Van service here in the Neepawa District area. And if you've got any suggestions or comments or you want to get a hold of somebody, that number was 204-476-2828, I believe. And it'll get you to Justin if nobody answers that phone and find out more about it, offer to help, whatever. Thank you to all the volunteers that have been on the boards before and volunteered in many other ways to keep the Neepawa District Handi-Van services going. And have a good day, folks, and hope you'll join us again sometime for another coffee chat.